being that I was in a very challenging point in my life, it's like you're desperate for any help or answer to come through for you to confirm what's going on when you're at a point where you're trying to figure out why are all these things happening. So that's where I first came in encounter with the Master Prophet, and I saw this on BET. I was flipping through the channel. I said, you know, I'm not going to church. I feel like I'm not getting the help that I needed. I'm not seeing any changes for myself. I'm gonna stop eventually, but just go ahead for the sake of my daughter, but I'll just stay home. That day I was still like longing for some answers. I feel like going to church, it wasn't helping me with my situation. So therefore I just started looking through the TV and trying to find some answers. Lord, speak to me, tell me something, confirm what's going on here. I don't know what's happening. And I need some answers. And there it was. I was like drawn to the prophetess Kelly. And I believe Master Prophet was on there. And I was like so drawn to it. And I said, you know what? I gotta try that number. I think this is my answer. I needed like some direction of growth because the things that I was doing as far as moving, doing within the church as far as like praying, I would pray, but I felt like I was being blocked. I felt like I was boxed in. I felt like I wasn't being able to release the gifting that God is giving me. And I just felt like maybe this is not for me. Like this place is not for me. But then for the sake of my daughter, my kids, I didn't want to just be hopping from place to place until I can find direction of where exactly should I go. Then I'll make the move. But it was like, I remember it was 10 years at one place, and then we moved to another place, and it was like going to 3 years at a new place, another church. And I felt like I'm going through the same thing again. There's something I'm not getting, or something that I'm not receiving from where I'm going, from where I'm at. I actually lost the number and I couldn't find it. I don't know where I wrote it. And then I went back in there again and I told my husband, you know what, just go ahead and go to church. Take our daughter to church. I don't want her to feel like we don't consider God to be important. But I'll just go ahead and stay home until you guys get back. I was trying to make excuses again to stay home. So then I was flipping through that channel again, looking for that number. And that second time I looked for that number, I found it again. But I had to flip through a couple of channels to find it. But I was so excited. I felt like something was relief off of my heart, like, that heaviness. The changes came about in my life when I started hearing things that was going on in my life through the prophetic word of prophecy that was given to me. And I'm like, okay, I'm not even talking to these people. How did they pinpoint out certain situation that's going on in my life? And I said, Lord, this is it. This is it. I mean, the rundown from when I first, I would say 30 years ago when I first came to the Lord, 25 years ago when I came to the Lord. And I'm like, all those words, I felt like they were dead and gone, but now it's being awakened again, the things that was happening back then and all the way up till now. And I'm like, this is it. This is my answer. Because I'm not even talking to any of the people here on the line, but when I put in my seed, I started hearing everything that was happening, and I'm like, wow, that was years back. That is the power of prophecy.